Hello everyone! Today I have a fantastic hand technique to show you called SASHIKO. It is a traditional Japanese hand technique that uses a simple running stitch to create beautiful designs, and you can use it to decorate anything from pillowcases to bags to clothing. Traditionally, SASHIKO is done with a white thread on indigo fabric. However, you can use whatever combination of colors you like. You only need a few basic items to do this technique, so it's great for beginners at hand stitching to learn and pick up. So here is what you'll need. If you are a beginner to hand stitching, I highly recommend using fabric that comes pre-stamped with a pattern. Most SASHIKO kits come this way. When you're done your project, just give it a wash and the lines will come out. If you're confident in stitching evenly, then you can also get creative and draw your own pattern with a water-soluble fabric pen. The next thing you'll need is the thread. This is an 8-weight pearl cotton thread called eleganza, which I prefer because it pulls very easily through the fabric. You can choose any color you prefer. However, if you wish to make a traditional piece, pair a navy-colored fabric with white thread. Another thing you'll need is a SASHIKO needle. SASHIKO needles have an eye large enough for the heavier thread and are also much longer than regular hand embroidery needles, making it easy for you to take more stitches. If you don't have a SASHIKO needle, a hand embroidery needle with a large eye can work as a substitute. The last item I suggest you use is a thimble. Due to the number of stitches you need to take, this will allow you to stitch more effectively and keep your finger from bruising. To begin, I'm going to decide where I'll start stitching. I recommend starting on the longest straight lines and moving to shorter and curved lines as you progress. I'm going to choose the larger of the two SASHIKO needles because it will allow me to load more stitches on it. However, as I progress to the smaller lines, it might be easier to switch to the smaller needle. Measure the distance of the line you're starting on and cut your thread a few inches longer. It's better to have a little excess thread than to run out halfway. Thread your needle, making sure to tie a quilter's knot on the end of the thread to keep it from slipping through the fabric. Take the first stitch from the wrong side of the fabric to hide the knot. Now, to make a perfect straight stitch, make sure when coming up that you align your needle with the back end of the first line in the pattern and pull it all the way through. Next, you can start loading stitches onto your needle. Hold the needle in a forward-facing direction and enter the fabric at the front end of the same line. Then, like before, bring it back up on the back end of the next line. You can load several stitches onto your needle this way, using the lines of the pattern as your guideline for perfectly consistent stitches. Now, I'm going to show you how to go around corners and points. Like before, I can load up a few stitches on my needle if the curve isn't too sharp. However, if I'm going around a corner like here, I'm not going to pull the thread too tight because it can result in the fabric puckering. On the back side of the fabric, just leave a small loop of thread so there's a bit of extra thread to give when the fabric flexes. When your needle is carrying as much fabric as it comfortably can, pull the needle all the way through the fabric to complete several stitches at once. You can see how easy it is to make even stitches when following a pattern. When you finish your line, or want to switch to a different thread, just tie your thread off on the back side of the fabric and start a new thread like before. That's actually all there is to it. You can continue this method around your entire pattern until you're finished. So this incredibly easy technique can be learned by anyone at any age, and it can be used to embellish almost anything. Make sure you hit the like button below if you enjoyed this tutorial, and join us for more tips and tutorials. We'll see you all next time.